G'day folks, welcome back. It's still me and we're still doing this. Today's case is Watson and Alchemy Builders, and it's a story, if you will, about the good old Kiwi dismissal. Long story, let's not face it, it's not going to be short, boiled down to medium, if you will, goes a little bit like this. There's a bloke, he works for a builder, he does a pretty good job, there's one entire relationship that goes well, goes off, does some bits, comes back for a second burst at the employer, things go well for a while, and then they don't. Depending on who you ask, if you ask the employee, he had a mate who worked really well with him, the mate's left, he had experience and skill, the builders didn't replace him, that left him working twice as hard, twice as long, twice as late, making things difficult, challenging, impacting performance. Employer says guy came back, was good for a little while, then kind of fell off the good employee wagon, wasn't doing so well, wasn't following instruction, was taking too long, and generally deteriorated as an employee. Things come to a head when there's a bit of a kerfuffle, at the end of which the employee is not sent instructions to where to go for work for the next week. This is close to Christmas, but we're not at Christmas, sort of 10, 15 December-ish. Employee, immediately on finding out that he's not getting paid for that week, gets an advocate. Advocate says, hey, look, you haven't given me instructions for work, you haven't given me any money for work not done. This is a big problem. I'm putting you on notice. If you don't sort this out, it's a grievance and it's potentially even constructive dismissal. Employer says, look, there's not a lot going on here. Why don't you just take holidays now? We'll sort it all out later. Employee says, no, I'm ready, I'm able, I'm willing to present for work because I want to save my holidays for a bit later. Employer turns around and says, we've got nothing, so we're formally putting you on holiday. Obviously, within the 14 days minimum period you're supposed to give notice of, so not really lawful. Employee is none too happy of that, but then the employer removes that employee's name from the WhatsApp app group and detailing materials, so suddenly it's a bit more challenging for them to get involved, and ultimately they come to the conclusion, ta-da, constructive dismissal. So, sifting through all of that, the authority essentially says, yes, that is in fact a constructive dismissal. You're not really supposed or allowed to take these sorts of steps, which are clearly punitive in nature, make it difficult, if not impossible, for the person to attend work. Clearly, they can't generate any income from work that they're not doing, and you haven't undertaken any real steps, right? You haven't gone on a performance conversation or a misconduct conversation. You haven't been through the warnings journey. There's no way there's a dismissal here through any kind of process. As a result of all of that, there's about $20,000 here in lost wages and the like, about $15,000 worth of hurt and humiliation, and genuinely speaking, a bad day for the employer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as always, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thanks very much for your time. Hopefully we'll see you again soon, and otherwise you have yourselves a great day. Cheers.